Hello, welcome back to Nick Lenz's Comic Corner, classics slash not classics. Well, you know our review, alright? I review Marvel stuff, Marvel and DC, okay? In this episode, reviewing X-Men, Reckless Abandonment. It contains issues 36 to 41, and it's written by Brian Wood and Seth Peck, and pretty much about the same amount of artists. Now, this is a series of 3 different stories. Brian Wood only writes the first 2 issues, which is 36 and 37. Seth Peck writes the rest of the book. Now, there are 3 different stories in here. Number 1, the first story in here, which is now there are 3 two-parters in this book. The first one continues on where the last book left off. It just simply wraps up loose ends. That's the whole point of it. And Colossus has his own agenda, stuff like that. The team that started with issue 20 basically is falling apart somewhat, not very much, and that's it for that story. Second story I do like. It's a team between Domino and Daredevil. The artwork is a bit weird, though it's basically now Daredevil was flirting with her most of the time in the entire story. Just simply, one thing I do love about the story is a whole bunch of villain cameos in the book. Let's see if I can top them off. Let's see. You have... Let's see if I can get to... Yeah, the artwork is from Daredevil. Should say yes. You have Broderick the Leaper. You have one of the Beatles. One of the people who was Beetle. Or Lucius... let's see. I don't know who this guy is. Let's see. You got Tiger Shark. I don't know who this guy is. You have Whirlwind, Constrictor, the Wrecking Crew, obviously, Lady Stiltman. Yeah, this is quite funny. I think this is Ramrod, who gets a brief cameo. Yeah. I like this story really well. It's a really, really good story. And in the second part, basically just deals with the character. I never really heard of him before. Just a guy basically who used to work for S.H.I.E.L.D. They're just basically just looking for arms sold by a former S.H.I.E.L.D. agent. And that's the only theme aspect in this book. Now, the final story arc takes place right after the events versus X-Men. And new lineup for the new team, which they cover the last 2 issues of this book. Let's see if I can get to it. The lineup is... let's see. It is Chamber, Pixie, Archangel. Let's see. It's also Iceman, Storm, and Pixie. And that's pretty much it. Colossus does not appear. Despite the fact Colossus appears on the cover, he does not appear in the book at all. Psylocke doesn't do that either. This is a very okay story at best. It's just a post-Avengers vs. X-Men story. Just about a guy who can develop the ability to basically move vehicles by using his mind. Yeah, and of course it's a new Freedom Force in this. I don't like this. I don't like Freedom Force. Yeah, a guy basically thinks Mystique. The artwork in the story is weird. Very, very weird. But overall in this book, because the first story didn't impress me, the second story was really good. Third story was okay. But the artwork was terrible. So basically, I give this book a 3 out of 5. Take a 2 stars. 1 for the first story because it did not impress me at all. And for the artwork in the final story. Okay? Now, this here is the last book to collect issues from X-Men Volume 3. Though I do have one more book to review when I get a chance to get my hands on it. But basically, excuse me, it's just a book where not a lot of stuff happens. And that's pretty much just it. I mean, Brian Wood does tie up the loose ends from his story, from his run in this book, though he does come back in the following story when the thing gets relaunched, and it's an all-woman team. The women here are drawn beautifully, though I don't like how Storm was drawn in the last story, but it's a bit weird. But otherwise, though, this book is okay, too. Alright? So remember, 3 out of 5 for that one. Alright? See you in the next video, or something really classic.